This is CIT 1121, packet tracer 1651, instructional solution. In this particular packet tracer, we've got a small network with the router, 2 switches, and a couple of PCs. We're going to configure one of the routers and one of the switches. We'll do the router in this video, and we'll do the switch in the next one. Pretty straightforward. The IP addresses are already configured on the router, so there's nothing we need to do there. So we're just going to go straight into the instructions. Step 2 here, so we'll go step by step through this piece. Like I said, we'll do a second video where we'll do step 3. So I'm going to go into the router, take a look here. First command, prevent iOS from attempting to resolve mistyped commands to domain names. That's no IP domain lookup. So no IP domain domain dash lookup. No IP domain lookup is our command for that. We should score a point there. We do. Good. Second bullet point, host names need to match the name. The name of the router is capital RTR-A. So let's go ahead and change the host name. So host name. Easy on that one. Require that newly created passwords be 10 characters in length. How about security? Passwords minimum length. So that'll work for us there. So security passwords minimum length. Going to set that to 10. So we'll go ahead and set that to 10. That's easy enough. A strong 10-character password for the console. Use @cons1234 exclamation point, which we're going to use that same password, even though it says cons. We shouldn't be tipping off anybody. Hey, it's a console password. I wonder if the word cons is in it. But whatever. We'll use the same password for all the passwords that we set here. We'll just go ahead and use those, except for when we do the username. We need to set the password as logadmin bang9, just so that so we can score the points on that one. So they want us to go to the console port, so let's go ahead and head there. So line con 0, and let's do password and cons there. So that one is set. Whenever we set a password on the console, in order to get the prompt to pop up, we got to use the keyword login. We need to use the keyword login. So use the keyword login there. So it says ensure that console and VTY sessions strong 10-character password for console. We just did that. We're on the next bullet point now. Ensure that console and VTY lines close after exactly 7 minutes. So that's exec timeout. That's just exec timeout is pretty easy. So exec timeout 7 for console, and then let's go to VTY. So we'll just do a quick exit here. Line VTY 0 space 4, and we'll do exec timeout here 7 also, and those are done. So that's it's pretty easy. We are now here. Strong encrypted 10-character password for privileged exec mode. In this activity, you can use the same one as the console. We will. So let's go back to privileged exec. We're going to set the enable secret. So let's do an exit here, and we'll do enable secret, and we'll just use the same password that we had before, just for simplicity. You don't have to. You can use something else. As long as it's 10 characters, it's going to go ahead and work. And the next bullet point right below that is set a banner for message of the day. So it's pretty easy to do. So it's banner, MOTD, delimiting character, and delimiting character. I just used the @ sign this time instead of the pound. It doesn't really matter. As long as the first character to start it and the last character to end it are the same, it will work. So just keep that in mind. So I just couldn't put an @ sign in my message there. If I did, that would be the end of the banner. So that was easy enough to do. It's good. Next one, password encryption for all passwords. All right, so password encryption for all passwords. That's pretty easy. That's service password encryption. So service password encryption. And that wasn't too bad. Then we're going to get into setting up SSH. So we're going to go step by step here. So we get set a username and a password. So fine. We'll enable SSH. We'll set a domain name, and then we'll build our crypto keys. Then we'll go into the VTY lines, and we'll set the parameters for allowing it to look at the local login for the username that we created. So that's login local. And we'll set the transport input for SSH. So the SSH port is open because by default the telnet port is going to be open because that's how the routers are set up. So let's go ahead and we'll walk through each part of this. Starting with, we'll go step by step, adding the username first. So username is going to be NET admin. And it says encrypted password. So right after this, if I do a question mark, it's going to give me password, privileged, or secret. We're going to set an encrypted password, which means we're going to use secret here. So we'll do secret. And the password's going to be LOGADIM bang 9. And that's set, so that's pretty easy. Enable SSH, so we can just do IP SSH. And then I think something's coming after this. Let's just take a quick look, and we'll set the version value. And we're going to set the version to version 2. So we'll do IP SSH version 2, which is the normal version that people use. So we'll go ahead and set that. It says, hey, that sounds good. Set a domain name. Before we can create the keys, it does need a piece of information to build the keys off of. We'll use domain. The domain name is just set for that because it's something that would normally be set. So IP domain name. And that domain name is going to be security.com. And we're going to go ahead and create those keys now. So that is crypto key. Oops. There we go. I was spelling it wrong. I'm like, why isn't this working? Crypto key generate is our command, and these are RSA keys. So we'll do RSA, and they want us to set to 1024. So we'll set to 1024. Easy enough. Good stuff there. That's set, and then that says the VTY lines should use SSH for incoming connections. The VTY lines should use the username and password for those. Okay, so that's no problem. So we'll just go line VTY. We'll do 04. I think 04 will be okay here. We could do 0 to 15. 04 and set for using SSH. So that's going to be transport input SSH, right? So transport input SSH, easy enough. And then to have it, instead of checking just a regular login for the regular passwords, we're going to have it go to the database of users that were created. And we have a database of one. Username, so that's going to be login local. Login local is going to set that for us. So that's pretty cool. So if we did try to telnet, SSH in, it would say, hey, what's your username? What's your password? And that'll get you to a user level prompt. And then you'll have an enable password. And you'll go in from there. So that's set. Username and passwords are configured to authenticate logins. We did that. So we'll do an exit here. That gets us to the very last thing, which is impede brute force login attempts by using a command that blocks login attempts for 45 seconds if someone fails 3 attempts within 100 seconds. This is kind of a weird thing. You would think that this would be run at the VTY lines, but it isn't. It's run in regular config. And I believe we can run security. Oh no, it's not security. That's wrong. Hey, let's bark up that tree anyway and see what happens. Security, passwords, oh, this all looks good, and there's only minimum length. And that was the first thing I was thinking of, but that's not it. Since we're not doing things right, let's just go back into the line VTY 04, and we go login, which is the correct command, but not here. So you'd think it would be here, but it's not. The commands that are available in login under line VTY are authentication and local. Okay, and we're not doing either one of those. What we're doing is we're trying to block login attempts, and that's not possible here. So we'll kick out of that, and then we'll put in the last command, which is login from global config, and we'll do login here, and then block for, and they wrote it out for us in the exact right way we need to put it in. So block for 45 seconds, space, attempts, and there's 3 attempts within, W, within 100 seconds. And that is configuring the router. Let's take a quick look. I'm going to go ahead and close that, and we'll do check results. And we're looking very good here. So everything in the router is configured. Come back for part 2, which is configuring the switch for 16.5.1.